Welcome back to The Big Show. We're here in Las Vegas talking to the stars of the Strip. We've spoken to the chefs, we've spoken to the headliners, and we're speaking to the people who really do the hard work in Vegas, who put these big, huge, great big production shows on every night. And Wynn is probably the most spectacular of all the hotels, so therefore they need one of the biggest shows, and that is called Reve. And David Underwood is one of the big stars. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. It's nice to talk to you. You've been here 5 years now in Las Vegas. Are you bored yet?
Oh, no, not yet. Vegas is a great city to be in. There's lots of stuff going on, and we've got a fantastic show to work at. So
must be interesting being here over the last 5 years particularly, because that's seen the biggest growth and the biggest slump, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Last year was obviously a bit of a stretch for everybody. We seem to be coming through that now. Everyone's dug in, and we look like we're looking for more sunny days in Vegas.
But luckily, we're winning as punters because the ticket price has definitely come down, food has come down, and to stay in these glorious hotels has become cheaper. So really, as tourists, we're winning all the way around.
Absolutely. We've got some great resorts here, which, like you say, the prices have dropped down. This, in Las Vegas, this is the only place you're going to get this type of service, these type of shows, these types of restaurants. Everything's here on the Strip, and I know, although everyone struggled for a while, you've got to look at the bright side. It's all cheaper now for everyone. Everyone can enjoy it.
We're here at Wynn at the moment. Next door is Encore, which is probably the most fabulous of all the hotels. I mean, the decadence just is there. I walked along a corridor and they said, oh, this cost £1 million just for carpet. The money that Steve Wynn's put into this place is ridiculous. Does it become a bit too much sometimes? Because it's very bright and over the top and crazy, isn't it?
It is bright, it is over the top, but I still think it's very classy. Class is, I think that's what we deliver here at Wynn and Encore. You're not going to get this anywhere else. We're a 5-star, 5-diamond resort. It's all here. You're not going to get, this is the best. You're not going to get better than here, so you have to, and now you can experience it.
You've got a very cool and good-looking clientele. I just sat by the pool for an hour and frankly felt like a sausage roll in a bag of Twiglets. There's a lot of gorgeous people here. I don't seem to fit in.
Oh, I'm sure you fit in fine. There is true. This is kind of like the new, I know, new LA. It's where everyone wants to hang out and look cool and get into bikinis. So,
talking of people in bikinis, this is a show called Reve where basically you have to get virtually naked because you're wet throughout. How does that feel for a start, to spend 2.5 hours of your day completely soaked?
You kind of get used to it, and like you say, we're in pretty skimpy costumes. The bigger the costume, the more water you get caught in it, the more you have to carry, the harder work it is. But we're all pretty comfortable in our own skin, if you know what I mean. So,
how did you get the gig? Because you're up against a lot of competition.
There's lots of places all over the world to perform. You got Broadway, you got London on the West End, and then you got Vegas, which is very particular and specific. And you've got these spectaculars which are unique, only could happen here. I happen to be doing a different show tour in Europe. I heard about this opportunity to work with Franco Dragon at the Wynn Hotel, and jumped at it, done the audition. Luckily, I got it, and then next thing I know, I'm flown to Belgium to help create the show. Now I'm in Vegas, and 5 years later, still enjoying it.
And they keep these shows moving, don't they? They don't stay the same. They almost evolve.
Oh, absolutely. We're coming up to our fifth anniversary, but don't think it's the same show that when we first opened 5 years ago. We're constantly adding new elements. We've got great set designers and bits and people coming in. We've got the best in the world, constantly tweaking and improving the show. So if you've seen it before, you're going to see something different if you come back again.
It's an interesting show because it's basically a water show, but I can't really do justice how big and how clever it is. Could you do a better job than I can?
Probably not, but I'll do my best. Yeah, we're in an aquatic show in the round with a stage and a theatre which is absolutely stunning. You're not going to get it anywhere else. We've got technical stuff, things moving out the water, underwater. It's unbelievable. We've got the live music, we've got the acrobatics, we have the dancing, we have the swimming, and it's all at the top level. It's like, I don't know, everything brought together at the highest level creates a great show.
I've been at Alex for dinner whilst I've been here in SW Steakhouse. Are you having to avoid the buffets because we can't have a clinically obese you, can we, Daniel?
Actually, I was at the buffet a couple of days ago. But I think we got our team which look after our health and weight, and we keep an eye on it ourselves. I think I generally try to eat whatever I want and then try and deal with it in the gym afterwards. So
they work you hard here. You're doing 2 shows a night. How difficult is it?
It's a tough show. It's demanding. We're exhausted by the end of the day, and we're grateful for our weekends when we get some time off. Obviously, it's very physical, but we keep ourselves in shape. So it's not your regular 9 to 5. It's very physically demanding, but we get it done. We feel good.
How showbiz is it being here doing this show? Because obviously the facade of the show is incredibly showbiz, but then there's the rehearsals and all the hours before and getting here and all of that stuff. Is it like having a proper job?
Yeah, I've got kind of an extraordinary job with a very ordinary life. So we do have lots of rehearsals. We put a shift in. We put a lot of work in, and then obviously there is the glamour of doing the show. And obviously we're fortunate. People applaud us once we finish work. Someone who finishes, picks up their coat on the way home, doesn't necessarily get applause.
Are you incredibly needy? Do you need that warmth every day? People telling you that you're fabulous?
Only from you. Nah, not really. I get self-satisfaction from knowing that I've done a good job. Sometimes you get an audience who thoroughly enjoy the show, and we get an international clientele, so people appreciate it in different ways. So it may not be with cheers, standing ovations, but you can see that they've enjoyed it. And as long as you know that you've performed to your best at the highest level, if you do it for yourself, you always do it well.
You told us about your background at the Wynn and here at Le Reve. Tell us about your background at home and how you got the gig in the first place.
Well, I'm from Southampton, England. I used to train in gymnastics, and eventually a coach of mine became a theatrical agent, called me up after I quit competition, asked me if I was interested in doing pantomime. So I did a pantomime years ago, a little mini tramp, jumping over a box, and then the bug caught, and I learned and developed as things went on. Eventually I'm working on the West End, doing bits and pieces in bigger shows, touring shows, and the opportunity for Vegas calls, and as an acrobat you jump on it.
I suppose comparing pantomime in Las Vegas is like comparing Disney with an amateur film. I mean, the scale and the budget of these shows are like nothing else, and I think it's very hard to explain for people back home how big these shows are. Certainly nothing in the West End even comes close to how much they put into something like the Rev.
Yeah, I think the West End, Lord of the Rings might have been the highest amount of money they put into.
That was horrible.
Yeah. I had friends in that show, but they put a lot of money into that, and I think we cleared that money fairly easy, and we keep investing more in developing the show, adding new elements, technical, physical, theatrical, lighting, everything. It's a phenomenal amount of money to invest in the show, and this is the only place you're going to see it. This on the Strip, at the Wynn, this is the only place you're going to get it.
When you're not here, what do you enjoy doing? I asked you before, do you try and avoid the Strip? Because I know for most performers it's a nightmare.
In the back door, do the show, back out the back door, off home, do some gardening, bit of cooking, really ordinary stuff really, out to dinner, so local bars and restaurants.
I think what you notice about Vegas more than anywhere else in the world, it is a business. If you're failing, you're going to go very quickly because it's just too expensive to keep something like this on, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is expensive, and if you're not working out, it's going to fall through, but as long as you're always striving to be the best, and you'll get there. We work hard. It's not easy doing what we do, but I think we maintain our level at the top there.
My timing's been horrible for this trip because next door to you is Garth Brooks, who's the new headliner here at Wynn. It's so important to have a face on the front of the hotel to drag people in, isn't it? And you don't get much bigger than him in America.
Absolutely not. He's like massive, and not just America. Out of country music, I think that's the only one I knew of this kind of era. Him, Dolly Parton, Johnny Cash. That's kind of where I'm at with country music. And
well, not everybody likes Dolly Parton because she does have a knockers, doesn't she?
She does have a knockers. That's true. But I'm not necessarily a Dolly Parton fan. But yeah, we've got a great headliner here with Garth Brooks, and we're honoured to share a venue and have them as our next door neighbours.
Does it make a difference when you get somebody of his calibre in? Because this is a showbiz town where the stars come to see other stars. When you know there's somebody in who's more famous than you are, how does that feel?
There's lots of people more famous than me, but there's certainly a buzz around town and around the resort. When we had Beyonce performing here before, and obviously it doesn't get any bigger than that right now. We had the great Michael Jackson come and see us before he passed, and obviously there's a buzz around town. Everyone gets excited. The whole city's buzzing.
Is there any greater feeling that when you're at your peak and you've got everybody applauding and you've made it through the show and they're really thrilled? Is there any better feeling than that?
Obviously, it's a great feeling. There must be better feelings out there, but this is what I do for a living. And of course,
with your clothes on.
Oh yeah, with my clothes on. I don't have a lot of clothes on during the show, but no, it's a great feeling, obviously, and I'm thrilled to be here still after 5 years. We have a great network here, so.
Well, I think it's a testament to your talent because, let's face it, there's a lot of people after your gig and they could easily get rid of you and replace you with someone else, so you must have something unique, and thanks for talking to us.
Oh, thank you for having me.